reported by Law and Crime. Okay, so authorities in Kentucky received a 911 call from a teenager who told them that he killed two people. So police showed up at his residence and they were met by 17-year-old Elijah Shiraki. This wasn't a cut and dry murder case, though. And so my question for you is, after the police got there, what happened next?
He was high and it was all a lie.
So you're part right. So Elijah, and I think that you're gonna be able to feel for this guy. Elijah had pocket dialed 911 on his phone while he was playing the game Rainbow Six Siege, during which he said out loud that he had killed two people, meaning he had killed two people in the game.
Yeah.
We got footage from the surveillance. Check this out.
I was playing the game, and I got butt down the phone.
Okay.
That was my bad. What? No. It's only me home.
Valley, calm to you. Keep talking to us.
All right.
Okay. Let's just figure everyone inside, okay?
Nobody's inside. It's only me.
Bring him out. Keep walking towards us, okay, buddy? What's your name? Elijah.
Yep. So police questioned the guy. As you can see, they actually drew their guns when he was walking out. They drew their guns on him. They patted him down. Eventually, they figured out that he was telling the truth, and so they let him go. I got to be honest with you. You hear all these stories about like the way police officers treat people.
Yeah.
I'm almost surprised that they were as cordial as they were, given that you being a big video game person, have you ever heard of any stories similar where maybe somebody, they're doing something in the game and somebody takes it for real?
Yes and no. Like I saw a TikTok where a girl was like listening to her guy say something on a game and she thought he was cheating because of the way he was describing things. But what's really common in like the gaming scene is swatting. I don't know
Yes.
if you know what swatting is, but
Yes.
swatting is like when, yeah, is when streamers stream and like they get trolled or someone finds out their address and they like tell them a story and the police like swarm in there and like question them and everything. So there's been a lot of times where like streamers get swatted by police and you can see the police come up on the stream, and when they see the stream and it's explained to them, most of the time they just leave. It's really calm and peaceful. But sometimes it gets
Man.
crazy. Sometimes they get like very physical, but it's not that often, especially when they like say streaming's involved, because it's pretty common to swat people that way.
What a phenomenal use of resources that is.
Mhm.
So why do they do it? Do they do it because they're live streaming and they think it's funny that on the live
Yes.
stream the
It's
cops are going to
people
come in?
trying to troll like the streamer or just trying to get a reaction out of them, or
Right.
sometimes they're like doing it because they know like big news places will write about it, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe it'll help that streamer in some kind of cloudy way, but most of the time it's just to troll with ill intention.
Man, people can really suck sometimes. Okay, so have you ever been overheard saying something that was completely misunderstood and it caused you unnecessary drama?
Not drama, like, there have been times where I said things and people didn't hear it properly, so they thought I said something else, and it's always been funny situations, never drama.
Okay,
Oh
good.
my
So
g
never like you're dating somebody, like you just kind of explained you're dating somebody and maybe they heard something they shouldn't have, or maybe it could be anything. Could be anything.
Yeah.
Especially if do you play games online where you're like
Yeah.
talk? So you never know, shit can happen. So you've been fortunate. You've been able to avoid all that.
Yeah. Well, most of the time when I play games, I always have my mic muted. I don't really,
Ah,
uh, play it with people in the game. I normally do it through Discord or just people I'm friends with on, my PlayStation or Xbox. I never really play in-game with randos.
right, right,
So
right, right.
thankfully that's never happened to me, but a lot of people do keep their mics on in the game, so you get to hear a lot of stuff. It's very funny.
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure it's funny among other ways to describe it. Yeah. All right. It is time already for story number one, reported by the Daily Star. Okay, this is a good one too. So, the war's been going on with Russia and the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, Russia, they haven't had an easy time recruiting troops, right? They've been very active with their recruitment efforts, but they haven't had an easy time actually getting willing people. And so they recently released a new military recruit video trying to make the experience look more appealing for potential candidates. What do you think they do in this video to try to make it more appealing for Russian citizens to sign up for the war.
I want to say they either made it look like video games or they threw some sort of sex appeal in there. Like, oh, you come fight for us, and all the ladies are going to want to help you afterwards or something like that. It's either video games or sex.
Help you afterwards. So you nailed it. They went the sex route and they featured attractive young women. Here is a clip courtesy of Jason J. Smart on Twitter. Look at this. All right, there they are. I took the music off. So notice, so as you can see, they've got pretty girls holding the guns, looking into the camera. They got makeup on and stuff. But notice that they focused on ethnic minorities. Put that up again,
Mm,
Joel. They focused on ethnic
yeah.
minorities, and they did that on purpose because they're trying to tap into different demographics in Russia as opposed to just typical white Russian guys because they need recruits. So this is what they're trying to do. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Do you think that would work? Do you think if there's a guy and he's sitting at home and he's like, fuck this, I want nothing to do with this. Oh shit, look at that. They got some hot Asian girls there. Do you think that would actually get a guy to go to the front line?
Not in that outfit. When you said sex appeal, I'm thinking short, short skirts, hot girls. They're like moving around, dancing, whipping their hair, maybe in like a nurse outfit. Not with that outfit.
I mean, don't forget, this is
Sorry.
Eastern Europe. This is Eastern Europe, and they're ruled by Putin. So I don't know if you're gonna have
I
that
guess
happen,
maybe
but
for them that'll do it. Possibly, yeah.
yeah, maybe. I read somewhere that apparently the gun put that up one more time, Joel. Apparently the guns that they were holding are like
Oh,
decades old
so that
firearms.
might appeal to some people who just like old guns. I
Yeah,
can
but
see
you
someone joining just because they want to use that specific gun.
you might have a bunch of 79-year-olds signing up though. I don't know. That could give you problems in other
Possibly.
ways, you know? Okay, so here's my last question for you. I did see a video where you were throwing axes.
Yes.
So here's a question, and you're from New York, so this might be an easy answer. Have you ever fired a gun?
Yes, but not in New York.
Not in New York. Where?
Hawaii. So I took my mom to
Hawaii.
Hawaii for her birthday, and it was kind of still when like we were just getting over the pandemic, so a lot of things were closed, so we were looking for things to do. So we went to a gun range in Hawaii. So
Wow.
I
So
shot
you went
like
and you're like I was telling you out there, New York and Toronto are pretty close. So that must have been a 16-hour trip, right? You got to go to California first and then Hawaii.
yeah.
So 16
It was
hours to shoot a gun. All you had to do was walk out in the street in New York, Destiny.
well, you can see people shooting guns out in the street in New York City, but you can't like shoot it yourself. There's only certain places that allow you to shoot specific guns here in New York City.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Uh-huh.
not like uh you can go anywhere to do it. There's only specific places and specific types of guns that they have for the shooting range here. But it was kind of close to where we were staying in Hawaii, and we were just looking for things to do that, like, she and I hadn't done before, so she never shot a gun, I never shot a gun, so we did that. It was fun. They had it set up like a way where you couldn't, like, pull the gun out and shoot anyone up in the shooting range. It was, like, attached, so you could only, like, lift it up, shoot
I
it,
got what
and,
you're
like, put
saying.
it down.
Almost like
Yeah.
the video games, almost like the
Yeah.
arcade games kind of thing. So we have a super chat from Al Tepes. They said, "Have you ever been on the radio?" I guess that's a question for you. Have you ever been on the radio?
I've never been on the radio, no.
Good to have dreams. Good to have dreams. So
I
I
don't think I
was
have a voice for radio.
I was at a shooting range in Phoenix, Arizona one time doing high-powered weapons, and I found out afterwards that like the previous month, a teenage girl was there, and you know those high-powered weapons, they really have kickback, right?
Yeah.
So this teenage girl was there, and when she fired it, the kickback caused her to kind of move, and she shot and killed the instructor.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
and they didn't tell us that until after we were done. You know what I
So that
mean?
you would use the gun.
Maybe so we would use the guns because yeah, because maybe otherwise I'd be like, well, shit. Well, I don't feel like murdering anybody today.
Yeah,
You know?
that's insane. So
Yeah.
we only did the little guns because my mom didn't wanna do any of the big guns. I was like, they gave it to us as an option. I'm like, I'm not small and like too light for these big guns. They were like, no, you can pick whatever you want. But my mom was a little scared. So she stayed to the small guns. So we both stayed on the small guns. But they did have the options for some like really big, hefty duty guns. And that was one of my concerns was like the kickback, but they weren't saying anything about it. I guess I don't know. They don't want to like scare people away from it. And maybe the instructor would have helped, but
I think you made
that
the
was
right
one of my
decision.
concern was the kicks back.
You made the right decision because like I'm about 190 pounds and I had to keep the thing on my shoulder and I could feel it. It might have knocked you like, 20
Yeah.
feet back. So you made the right decision.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I click the subscribe button. You really should too. If you like videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, subscribe now.